Hey guys, sorry that I couldn't get a photo for you to see while I'm doing this, but I couldn't really find one. But for my next video when we do this, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find one. So yeah, this is basically a love story of a creepypasta, Jeff the Killer, and a girl named Rosie. She has red hair around about the same length as his. She has blue ocean eyes, and she's around about 17, maybe 18, somewhere around that. This will be in her point of view, so before you ask, I will be reading it as if I was actually Rosie. So yeah. The new day. I woke up from the sound of my alarm going off. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. Ugh, just great, I mumbled. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I got up, washed my hair, brushed my teeth, and got dressed. I put on a white belly top that had the word Death written on it in black, a black skirt that went to my knees, and put on some flat shoes. I put a black hoodie on and zipped it up so I wouldn't get cold. Then I put on some mascara and grey eyeshadow. I guess it looked okay. I walked downstairs and made a cup of tea. I only had a sip of it though. I went back into the living room and was about to sit on the couch. But then I heard a noise. It was coming from outside the door. It sounded like a cat. I quickly walked up to the door and opened it. I couldn't believe what I saw. It was a kitten laying on the step in front of the door, with scratch marks and blood all over it. The poor thing only looked 3 to 4 weeks old. I gasped and quickly brought it inside. Since my mom used to be a vet, there was a vet kit on the counter, just in case anything happened. I opened it and got out some stuff that numbs things. I never really was that interested in knowing what vet things were. Then I implanted it into the cat's skin. The poor thing looked so hopeless. I didn't even know what I was doing. After the kitten was numbed, I washed its body gently and firmly to wash the blood off. Then put the kitten on one of the couch pillows and wrapped it in a blanket. I felt like I was about to cry. Then there was a knock at my door. I walked over to the door and opened it. "Corbin!" I said in a cheerful tone. "Hey, Rosie, what's up?" "Well, come inside and I'll show you what's up," I said sadly. We both walked into the living room and looked at the defenseless kitten. "The poor kitty!" She hurried towards it and began to stroke its fur. "I know, I'm going to have to take it to the vet later on." "I would offer to take it myself, but I'm busy," she said, disappointed. I looked at her with curiosity. I didn't want to be rude, but I had to know. "You have always been busy for the past couple of months. Why is that, Corbin?" I asked in an irritated manner. She looked like she started to panic. As if she didn't tell me a lie soon, I would find out about the worst thing ever. I have had a tutor coming round my house tutoring me," she said. She suddenly let out. I raised an eyebrow at her. She knew I didn't like being lied to, but I shook it off and just rolled with it. Then she looked at the time. She looked terrified. "Sorry, Rosie, but I gotta go. See ya." She dashed out the door in a hurry. Well, that was odd. I finally had enough of Corbin not telling me the truth. That night I was determined to know what was going on. The day passed as any other day would go, and the time was just past 11 o'clock in the afternoon. I walked out of the house and locked the door. On my way to Corbin's house, I tried to open her front door, and shockingly enough, it was actually open. I walked up the stairs and came upon her room. I heard her and a bunch of people arguing. I stormed the door open and yelled, "What the hell is going on here?" I froze in shock. Corbin stared at me with a horrified look on her face, followed by everyone else just staring at me with awkwardness. But the thing that I was horrified about was that these people were not normal people. There was a tall-skinned man wearing a suit with long arms and fingers and tentacles streaming out of his back. And he had no face. A dark-formed clown with a cone nose and sharp pointy teeth, while a girl standing beside him who looked exactly the same. A guy with a creepy mask on in front of a guy whose face was pitch black and wore a hoodie. Then a guy who looked like Link from Zelda, only without any eyes, and his eye sockets were pouring with blood. A little girl with blood flowing down her face, passing her big green eyes. And a guy with a black hoodie with a blue mask on with no eyes. But the creepiest one of all was the one standing right beside Corbin. He had white skin, burned black hair. He wore a white hoodie and some black sweatpants. He had no eyelids, and he had carved a smile into his face from cheek to cheek with a knife in his hand, covered in blood. "Rosie, it's not what it looks like," Corbin said, scared out of his mind. The guy standing next to Corbin comes closer to me with the knife in his hand, as if he was going to kill me. And then I kinda lost it. "Ah!" I screamed and ran out the door. He was going to follow me, but I shut the door in his face and I heard his head bang full speed off of the wood. I even heard his body land on the ground. Ouch. So I ran downstairs, literally running for my life. I raced out of the house and began making my way home. Only problem was, I saw him running after me, and he wasn't far behind me. I started to sweat, and tears came running down my face with fear. I couldn't run anymore, so I gave up and stopped. I went to run the other way, but the guy ran into me. We both screamed in shock, and we crashed into each other. He fell on top of me, and I was lying on the ground in pain. We then looked at each other in the eyes, and saw what kind of position we was in. We both blushed madly in embarrassment, and then he got off of me so I could get up. Get away from me!" I yelled. "Hey, it was your fault you stopped in the first place," he shouted back at me. "Whatever, just go away," I screamed. He pulled his arms around my waist and said, "What's your name?" "Huh?" I seemed confused. "Your name, dumbass, what's your name?" I felt uncomfortable, so I pushed him away. "My name is Rosie Sparks. Now go away before I get that knife of yours and stick it up your ass," I screamed in rage. He smirked at me. "Well, someone has a hot temper," he said, knowing it would piss me off. And what really annoyed me the most about him is I found it sexy when he annoyed me. I mean, WTF? I stumped towards him with an annoyed look on my face. He definitely seemed amused. I grabbed his hoodie and pulled him close. He was very curious about what I was going to do, like maybe punch him in the face or something. But that is nowhere near what I gave him. I pressed my lips up against his. He looked shocked and blushed madly. I stopped kissing him and looked at him straight in the eyes and let go of his hoodie. He just stood there, staring at me. I couldn't believe what I just did. "I'm sorry. I have to go." I ran off, heading towards my house, crying, and I heard him call out my name. "Rosie, come back!" I unlocked my door and ran upstairs into my bedroom and cried into my pillow. What had I done? Well, guys, that's the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming very soon, and I hope you enjoyed my reading. See ya!